Let's talk about function. So think about function as an operator. So let's consider a function. So if this is my function, so pretend like this is my operator right here, function f, and if you input something, so what you will do, you will input something, and if you input something, then you will get a unique output. So function is an operator where you input something, it works on that input and gives you a unique output, where input is known as independent variable, and output is known as dependent variable. So basically what happens when you input something through this operator, which is basically a function, it gives you a unique output which is a dependent variable. So in one way you can input anything which is independent variable, and that gives you an output which is a dependent variable. And the reason why this variable is independent, because in a function you should be able to input any value and get some unique particular value which is a dependent variable, because the output depends on the input. Now let's consider an example. So example is f of x is a function of x squared minus 2x. And what we can do, we can input any value on this one to get one particular, or I should say one unique value for each input. So if I say my value of x is equal to 1, then what will I do? I will try to find output, which is what? F of 1. So for each value of x, I'm going to replace by 1. So x squared will be replaced by what? 1 squared minus 2 times 1. 1 squared is what? 1. And then 2 times 1 is minus 2. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So as you can see, for value of x equals to 1, the value of the function fx is negative 1. Now let's consider another value. Now if I consider another value as x is equal to, suppose, negative 3, what will be my f of negative 3? So f of negative 3. So what we are doing, we are putting negative 3 over here for x, and this function is going to work on negative 3, and it will give us one unique value. So f of negative 3 is basically what? For each x, I am going to replace by negative 3. So x squared is basically what? Negative 3 squared minus 2 times negative 3. So negative 3 squared is basically what? 9. And then negative times negative is positive. So 2 times 3 is positive 6. Which gives me what? 9 plus 6 is 15. So for x is equal to negative 3, let's write it down. For x is equal to negative 3, the value of f of negative 3 is basically what? The value of the function, I should say, is 15. So as you can see, this is my value for the function at 1, and this value is for x equals to negative 1. Now let's try to see what are the limitations of the function. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to consider an equation of a circle. So my equation is x squared plus y squared is equal to 4. Now, at first what I'm going to do, I'm going to graph this circle. As you can see, if I write this circle, I can write this circle as x minus 0 whole squared plus y minus 0 whole squared is equal to 2 squared. Because 4 is basically 2 squared and x minus 0 is basically x squared and y minus 0 whole squared is y squared. So basically I can write this equation as this. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to graph this circle. So let this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis. Alright? Now as you can see, the center of the circle is 0, 0. So this is my center of the circle. I'm going to take it as O, which is 0, 0. And my radius is 2. So that will be 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So this is 2. This is also 2 over here. So this is 2, 0. And this is basically, I'm going to write 0, 2. Over here, this is 1 and 2. This is negative 2 and 0. And on the negative y-axis, I have 0, 1, negative 1, and this is negative 2. So I have 0 and negative 2. Right? Now, let's grab the circle. So, my circle is this is my circle, right? Which is basically what? This is basically this circle right here. X squared plus y squared is equal to 4. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to consider this point, which is what? X is 1. So let's substitute the value over here. And if I do that, I will write 1 squared plus y squared is equal to 4. Now let's simplify further. And if I simplify, I will get 1 squared is 1 plus y squared, that is what? 4. I want to find the value of y, so I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. And as you can see, I have y squared is equal to 3, which gives me what? If I want to find the value of y, I will take the square root on both sides. And if I do that, I will get y is equal to plus minus root 3. So, let me put it in a perspective of function. So, this is my function right here. This is my function. This is my function. And what I'm doing, I am doing an input. I am giving an input, I should say. So, I am giving an input of x equals to 1, and this function is working on that input and giving me two values. One is root 3 and the other value is negative root 3. Right? Is it a unique value? No. The reason why, because when I substitute the value of x as 1, I should get one and only one value, which is basically the definition of the function, which means what? Unique output. Is this the unique output? Look at this. Root 3 and negative root 3. This is not a unique output. Why? Because we are getting two values of function, but technically we should get only one unique output. So this cannot be a function. So this is not a function. So I'm going to write not function. It's not function. Now, there is another way I can easily find out if this is a function or not. So the different approach is what I'm going to do. I am going to draw a line. Look at this. This is the line. So if you look at this value of x, how many values do I have for y? This is the one value. It doesn't matter what value I have. This is the one value right here, right? And the same value for x, I have another value of y, which is this value. So as you can see, for one value of x, let me write it down. One value of x gives me two values of y. So if that is the case, if this is the case, then it simply means that it's not function. I just want to say you don't have to find in an abstract way whether it's a function or not. You can also use a graphical way like this way to find whether a given expression is a function, or I should say a given relation is a function or not. So graphically and abstract, both the two ways will work, or I should say can help you to find whether the given relation is a function or not. And this is how we will define function.